I want y'all's takes on women being plastic, because now it's so popular to have Botox and filler and full face of makeup and fake this and fake that.
Mhm.
And obviously a lot of men do indulge in women like that. So I'm curious y'all's perspective on that versus someone who's natural.
I mean, for me personally, I'll let Spencer speak for himself, but for me personally, I like, I prefer more of a natural look, not a lot of makeup. I don't understand those fucking eyelash things that women put on their upper eyelid. They look retarded. Somebody needs to tell women that, yeah, they look stupid. Big fat fish lips, this stuff, with the Botox injections, silly, foolish. I mean, Botox is a neurotoxin, so when you inject something under your skin, it's gonna get to your brain at some point. I know people say, "Oh, that's it's totally safe in the test, blah blah blah." Well, of course they're going to say that because they want to sell you these fucking injections, and it's like the vast majority of women look just fine with some wrinkles, as they get older. As long as you take care of your skin, there's other treatments that you can do that will rejuvenate it. But like the plasticky look around the face, not a big fan of. I'm more of a fan of like a natural look. I'm okay with fake boobs. I mean, as long as they don't enter the room like 3 seconds before the rest of you when you walk in the room, like if they're obnoxiously big. It's like when you see those cars down in Florida with like the 30-inch wheels on like a Honda Civic, you're like, that looks stupid, right? So as long as it has like a reasonable sort of natural look, then it's totally fine. But aside from that, I'm not a big fan of like the plastic work or anything like that. Spencer, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, rating girls 8 and above reserved for girls with boob jobs only. Absolutely. No, I'm
Wait,
kidding.
8 and above?
Yeah.
Oh, so you like boob jobs?
I do like a natural look. I do also understand why stuff like plastic surgery, boob jobs, whatnot, that enhance features that are generally respected as attractive. I understand how this can trick people's the evolutionary psychology into seeing this as more attractive. So I understand why it's there, but I do like the idea of natural.
The vast majority of guys that I know would err on what Spencer and I sort of just described. Like some natural enhancements are fine. Like when I buy a nice car, I'll header wrap the fucking turbos and I'll put an exhaust on it and I might change the wheels a little bit, but it doesn't look drastically different from how it comes out of the factory. I think it's the same thing with women. I think a little bit of lipstick and makeup, can go a long way, but when you go too far, like a lot of the obnoxious enhancements, most guys that I know, they don't like it.
Sorry, can I ask, what's Natalie's opinion on that? Because she asked the question.
I certainly share the same opinion. I think enhancements that are discreet are totally fine. I've certainly partaken in those. I think it's become really toxic for our culture, kind of back to like the body image whole conversation, for women to be all injected. Anytime I see a woman who got significant work done where you can really tell, my instantaneous first thought is she looked better before she did it. So I personally don't like it, but then I also question why so many men pay for it. I mean, you're talking OnlyFans. Most of those women look very plastic from what I've seen. So it's kind of a double standard too. Most men, they want their wives to look beautiful and natural without makeup. They want to wake up next to a beautiful woman, yet, porn stars don't look like that.
Just like a psychological, quick one. The association of plastic surgery, the look or the appeal for it is close to what a porn star would have. And do you think that's why it appeals to men?
Probably, but that's manufactured.
It's like a more sex-driven look.
Yeah, I would think so. You look at somebody like Kim Kardashian, she radiates sex. You look at somebody like Natalie Portman, and she radiates classy girlfriend. So, yeah, but I think it's problematic because it's a manufactured thing, the porn star look. So it's corrupting men's minds and preferences.
Kat, were you asking, so I can be clear on what you're asking there, were you asking if she thinks guys like this because of porn?
Rather like, do you think it triggers like an impulse in men, a physiological arousal in men, because the look is associated closely with what you would find in someone, no offense, someone who is a porn star? Yeah.
I think it ties more into fertility cues, is what, like, attraction from the Evo Psych perspective. When you study it, it's very closely correlated to like the hip to waist ratio, full lips, bust size and fullness. Like with things like skin tone and complexion, and like hair shear and shine are indicators of health. Like weak hair or poorly colored skin, like gray skin even, would be indicators of a bad mate that you'd want to have children with, sort of thing. So I think attraction is very closely correlated to that when it comes to men to women. Whereas, for women to men, it's like, masculinity, high testosterone cues. Like they've done tests where they've had guys wear like a regular cotton t-shirt for a couple of days. They sleep in it, they sweat in it, sort of thing like that. And they put them in bags, and they'll have women smell each of the bags, and they can smell the hottest guy based on the odor of the like the sweat and everything that's in it. The pheromones and all that. So it's very, very different. But from the perspective of what men are attracted to, when it comes to women, hips, lips, and tits is really what it boils down to. Nice skin, nice hair, natural sort of look. But when you go to the excessive enhancements, then that's when it's like, again, like I said earlier, the thing that just wigs out a lot of guys that I know is like those stupid eyelash things on the top level. It just looks dumb as hell, and I don't know why women stick those things on.
Yeah, I think the reason I asked is because like I read up a lot of research online saying that the visual cues that trigger tend to be because it's sexually motivated.
Yeah, is she going to be able to deliver me strong sons and beautiful daughters?
See, but I've also seen like debates in the past online of people saying that women would argue that a lot of them get cosmetic work done to improve their appearance and help with their own insecurities, boost their confidence, yada yada, all of that. And then you have others who would argue that women get work done specifically with the aims of it physically appealing to the male population, to look good for a man. So I don't know where you guys would fall on that scale.
Well, I think a lot of women are misinformed with a lot of the procedures that they're doing, right? Like some women look utterly ridiculous with the stuff that they do, and nobody's being honest with them. I mean, I'll tell any of y'all that, if you're being fucking stupid with what you're doing with your bodies, I don't care, because that's just who I am. But the vast majority of people just be like, let her do what she wants. If she's happy, it's fine. It's like, in many cases, you should point at like silly things and be like, that's silly.
Yeah, I mean, all these features are just cues into good fertility, good genetics, and men who are attracted to these features over history were going to produce more children. There was a better chance for their genes to continue on throughout time. So naturally, men are going to be more attracted to these features. And plastic surgery really is only like a tiny window of history. So it's kind of just like throwing a wrench into it, and you don't really know what it's going to do. But men's interest, their attraction, comes from all this time before plastic surgery was a thing.
Like, do you know why women use red lipstick?
No, actually.
Nobody knows? None of the women know why women use red lipstick?
I don't know. It looks good. It looks sexy.
Because it mimics the vagina.
What?
I think black people would agree. I thought
I'm just a messenger. Don't shoot me. I've just read the studies. That's all.
Oh, God.
It's the same thing with like hips, right? Like men like, women with a good hip to waist ratio, because if a woman didn't traditionally have childbearing hips, the child wouldn't survive birth. right?
Yeah, I think all that's like kind of a given, but where it's a gray area is because you would think that a man biologically would be able to recognize if that hip to waist ratio is manufactured. That's not her real body. So
To some
it
degree,
would
I
make
mean,
sense.
like Brazilian butt lifts are pretty good these days.
I don't know. It would
if
make
they're
sense
done
that you would be
reasonably.
attracted to the more natural looking woman because she's naturally what you're saying. She's naturally going to be a good childbearer or whatever.
Yeah.
But our biology is crafted through thousands, millions of years. Plastic surgery, these alterations are a tiny little window, like less than 1,000 years. Like, so that doesn't have really any effect on our actual biology. Our biology is crafted by this world where that's not a thing.
Yeah.
That's an interesting
JC's made a good point. He said, ladies understand we'll sleep with fake looking women all day long, but that doesn't mean that we'll want to wife them up. Sometimes there's a novelty associated with, oh, that's interesting. I kind of find that attractive. Let's see what that's all about. PI Double says, what are some of the things the ladies would need to see in a relationship for you to approve of your 20-year-old daughter marrying a 40-year-old man? All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the Courses tab. Newer to the channel? Hit subscribe.